Hello everyone, and we're back from our short break that you saw last week up in Scotland. It was absolutely lovely, and from that we've had quite a few comments asking about specific things from the van build and how we got on with using the things that we've put in here. We're going to share 5 or 6 things that we learnt from our trip, and it might help you if you're about to start a van build, in the middle of one, or you're doing a remodel. Anything might just give you a few ideas or hints and tips. So here we go.
So it just reminded me when you said there about things that didn't quite work as planned was probably the blinds. Right. Just the noise that we get.
Yes.
We didn't write it on our list of things that we wanted to talk about, but when you said that, because these are absolutely fantastic.
The blinds work spot on.
But as we're
the
driving,
actual use of them, the moving of them, and doing what they're meant to do is absolutely spot on. But the mechanism that sits inside, obviously they are house blinds and they're not meant to jiggle around in a moving vehicle. And there's like a spring, it looks like a spring that sits right in the middle of this hidden bit, and it does jiggle obviously when we're driving.
It rattles a little bit.
Yeah.
However, the rattling of the van was probably the worst part of the whole journey. So we're going to talk about the worst part of the journey first. So when we bought the van and when the van was built, the minibus, it was a minibus. It had 15 seats in it. It had a tail lift on the back as well, which weighs a lot of kilograms. We took all of those seats out, obviously, and we took the tail lift off, which makes the van a lot lighter. What then's happened is that the suspension isn't acting like it should do. So I've done a little bit of research. Because when we were driving through Scotland and through the smaller roads,
the roads we like to drive on.
Yeah, then you could really hear a lot of rattling inside the car, inside the van, because of the suspension wasn't doing what it should. So because what's happened when this van was originally built, it was weighted at 4.6 tons. We took it to get weighed yesterday and it's come in at just under 3.5 tons. So it's lost about a ton worth of weight.
Excellent diet.
Yeah. That means we're going to get the suspension updated, or should we say downgraded? Yeah, because the suspension on this van is very hard. So I've been having a look into it. I found a place down in the middle of the country which we're going to buy some springs from, some leaf springs. And we're also going to change the suspension on it as well, which should give it a much smoother ride. We're basically downgrading the suspension from 4.6 ton van down to a standard 3.5 ton van. So that should give it a much smoother, softer ride, and then that should get rid of most of the noises, particularly from the blinds and things like that, things that are rattling around.
It did, just when you went over the potholes and speed bump kind of things, it was very hard, wasn't it?
It was hard.
Yeah,
it was a harsh ride. Yeah. And I think that didn't spoil our holiday.
No.
But it was always on my mind, particularly of how I was going to get it fixed. What am I going to do to stop all of this? I felt sometimes like the van might shake. However, as I said, we did a bit of research and we're going to get the leaf springs upgraded or downgraded. And we're going to get the suspension downgraded or softened. That's probably a better way of putting it. Yeah. And that should solve a lot of our shake problems. So putting that to one side, because that's pretty much all of the negatives, really, isn't it?
Yes, because other than that, I mean, it's lovely. Yeah. If you've driven a car all your life and then you start driving vans, I find it's a much nicer drive. You've got a lovely elevated position, you actually get to see more when you're driving around, and the good thing with this being a minibus, obviously it has all the windows, so me as a passenger, I had practically panoramic views as we were driving, which really adds another dimension to your travelling as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll get that fixed in the next couple of weeks and update you on how the feel of the minibus is with our new leaf springs and new suspension. In the meantime, we'll talk about all the other bits of the van, the smaller parts, the internal parts that we've actually built ourselves, and what's been good or bad about them. So we've got a little list of things so we don't forget. What was the one on the top of the list?
Our bed.
The bed.
Yep. When we were building, and right back at the beginning, and the bed was one of the first things that we built, just purely for the size, because then everything worked from the back to the front. We had several comments sort of saying, oh, you'll never get a good night's sleep because you just can't stretch out there. But our bed is actually full size. It's got a full size double IKEA mattress, and we can definitely stretch out.
Yeah. Only just.
Yes, I mean
But
we're not giant
No.
people, but we're not tiny either.
But
we're
can.
both sort of 5'8", 5'9".
It's a good
And
comfortable.
it's very comfortable.
It is.
Yeah, very snug.
And we've spent the last week in here, haven't we? Because we've been living in here on our drive, basically, for the last week. And it's more comfortable in the van than it is in our house. So the bed is very comfortable indeed.
It is.
What's the next thing we've got on the list?
Yeah. The Propex heater. A lot of people were asking, how have we got on with the Propex heater? What is it like? And, you know, is it doing what you needed it to do? That was our single biggest expense after buying the bus itself. So to have the underslung tank and then the heater, which is literally underneath me in this seat, and then the hob all connected. What was that? It was about 2,000. It was about £2,000 in total. But we can definitely say that the heater is very simple to use. It appears to be very economical. So we've been in Scotland for several nights where it's dipped down to sort of 2 and 3 degrees on a night. And we've only had the heating on for maybe 10 minutes, and because it's got a thermostat control, you just put it to the temperature that you want it, and then it'll click on, it'll heat for sort of 10 minutes, and because it's not a massive space, it's heated very quickly, and then it clicks off.
We did have it start up at one point in the night, so I wanted to keep Max a little bit warm. I thought the Max was getting a little bit chilly. He wasn't, but I worry about him like that. So I had it coming on in the night, and the only downside to it possibly was it was a little bit noisy. There is a fan in there, and the fan kicks in to blow the warm air through. So I think the only downside to the Propex is probably the fan. But from watching videos, the noise from the fan. But watching videos of people that have diesel heaters as well, I think they have noise concerns with those. Different other concerns like clicking of the filters and things.
Of the fuel pump.
So overall, I think the Propex heater, whether it's worth the money, I'm really not sure. But we bought it for long-term purposes, so we felt the expense was almost worth the money. But at the moment, it seems to be working really well, and it does a good job. Does a good job.
And given the price of diesel at the moment, then the LPG is a lot cheaper.
It's a benefit at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the noise was only noticeable because it was night time and it was pretty silent everywhere.
Very, very quiet.
So any small noise is going to be exaggerated in the middle of the night.
That's a very good point. It probably isn't that loud, is it really? No. It's just that I noticed it.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what was the next thing?
Going on from that, the hob.
The hob,
Absolutely, I love the hob. Love cooking with gas. So it's very efficient. It's very quick. When Darren made our toasted sandwiches while we were away, I think it caught him out just slightly because one side was a little bit too toasty.
As you probably noticed.
But I've done a stir fry, and then I made a curry while we were away, and it was very quick, very easy. It's lovely to clean, and it's just spot on, really.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice hob. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's worked really well.
Yep. So our
table. This little table, yeah.
So the table was the last thing. We literally screwed this in like the morning we went away, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I'd looked and looked and didn't really know what it would like. And in the end, we just sort of went, right, we need a table. We're going away in a few days' time. Let's just get a piece of MDF. And one of my brothers was kind enough to sort of curve all the edges and routed it so it's all curved all the way around. And then I've given it a few coats of paint and a few coats of lacquer, and it's been absolutely spot on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the good things about it as well, our original, I'll insert a piece of footage here about our original idea of how we set it up, how we wanted to use the table. But then what we discovered as we were using it was having it this way.
This way is really good.
In the longer, the longer way, I suppose, whichever way you'll see on the video. This way is actually a really good way that we can just sit here and have a cup of coffee,
just for a coffee
side by side, as opposed to setting up for the dinner.
Yeah.
For the dinner table, so to speak. So this is actually a really nice little bonus that we didn't expect. It's a really nice table. It works a treat.
Very good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's just the right size. It's 40 centimetres wide by 80 centimetres long.
60.
80.
Oh yeah, I keep thinking it's 60 because that's what we were originally going for. Yeah, 40 by 80, that's right. Sorry.
So two of us can sit quite nicely, or Darren can have his laptop out, and it's just very functional.
Yeah. So that's the little table, which is excellent. And the next thing was...
And then finally our fridge. So I was quite unsure when we unboxed our fridge for the price we paid.
Yeah.
It did sort of make my toes curl a bit,
Yeah.
looking at it. And I know that it is designed to be put into a unit, not just a freestanding thing. And what am I trying to say?
You've said to me many times, because I was thinking it's a lot of money to spend, but you said it's designed to go in a camper van. It's designed to be bashed about, not bashed about, but bumped about a bit.
Yeah,
it's strong. It's built to last from that perspective.
Yes. Unlike a house one that just sits in the corner of the kitchen and doesn't move.
Yeah.
What you're paying for is the sustainability of it, where you are going to be driving down bumpy roads.
Yeah.
Or literally just driving, and it just keeps working.
Yeah.
And it's done exactly that. Yeah, it's done exactly that.
Yeah, it's done a really good job. The only thing that we didn't really have time to look at, we're still learning
how
these
to
things.
use it.
Yeah, it was how to use it. We're still learning these things. We're still learning how the Propex heater works, and we've now learned how the fridge works, because it is very, very simple.
Yeah.
We had it on freezer mode all the way whilst we were away. We froze our milk and we froze my cheese. So anyway, yes. So that's so we had it on freezer mode all the time. Weren't sure how to take it off. We do know now how to take it off, and it's a very simple.
On the right setting now.
And it's on the right setting now as a fridge as opposed to a freezer. But at least we've tested the freezer part of it as well, and that's very efficient as well.
Yeah.
So we can
pretty confident that when we're out in hot places, we can get like a bag of ice, we could get some ice cream or whatever, and it will definitely do the job. And again, thermostatically controlled, so it doesn't draw a lot of energy. And I haven't heard it in the night.
No,
hasn't
I
woken me.
think because it was on freezer, it was on a lot of
it did seem to take a long time to get to temperature. Didn't it?
And it kept it at freezer point. But now that we've turned it down, you can hardly even hear it. It's just running away very quietly in the background.
So that was just our.
Yeah, I suppose that's another benefit of the quality of the fridge, I suppose. Yeah. So it's a nice little fridge. So there's a little update. Is that everything? That's all the things we wanted to talk about on this video. This is not, as you can see from the title, this is not the van tour. We are planning on doing a van tour, giving you the full ins and outs of everything. Hopefully in the next
couple of weeks,
hopefully.
We've got a busy May.
A busy May.
A busy May coming up.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that we get that one fitted in.
Yeah.
As soon as we can.
Yeah. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining us on this video. And hope that helped a little bit. We're looking forward to getting the suspension upgraded, and we'll let you know what happens on there. And we'll keep in touch as far as that's concerned. And thank you very much for joining us.
Yep. So take care, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.